So let's look at some reasons to honor parents, and we're going to wind it down in this portion, looking at the fifth commandment then. In the Word of God, children had at least 4 key reasons to honor their parents. We looked at some of that last session as we were building the foundation. The promise to live long and prosper. Now, I want you to understand, I don't know if you watch, I know Bonnie doesn't watch Star Trek. I'm a Star Trekkie. I'm a Trekkie I know I can tell you about almost all the Star Trek movies, about all the Star Trek TV series, all the characters. I can just about, I'm almost an expert on Star Trek trivia. So that's another teaching another time. Anyway, but
we need to have that teaching.
But Mr. Spock is famous for saying, "Live long and prosper." But I promise you, he's not the one that originated that. He might have originated that sign, this "live long and prosper" sign, but "live long and prosper" is biblical. It's from way back in the Old Testament. And the promise to live long and prosper was certainly a key reason to honor our parents. Deuteronomy, in chapter 5, verse 16 of Deuteronomy, you can see that. I'm not turning there right now, but you can see that in that chapter. We mentioned before that attached to this commandment was the conditional promise for the nation of Israel. It wasn't just for an individual deal. It was for the nation of Israel. Let me cut this lighting up just a little bit. The sun's going down. I need a little more light. Now, something I want us to understand, though, I want to bring this out so we understand properly. This is not, because I've had people that question that for asking, again, context, balance, and practicality. And we need to understand this was not an absolute promise that if they honored their parents, they'd live to be 100 and die wealthy. That is not what that promise is stating. Sounds good, and I sign up for it, but that's not what God is promising there. But it is a practical and key reason to honor your parents, because life and prosperity is promised for the most part, and in general terms, generally speaking. And prosperity is not dying rich. Prosperity is not, wealth and riches necessarily. Prosperity includes a number of other things. Being successful in the Lord spiritually primarily. Then another key reason to honor your parents is the warning of capital punishment. I will turn to Exodus chapter 21. I do want to take a glance at that. Exodus chapter 21. I usually tag and mark the scriptures so I can get to them quicker, but I think I can get to them relatively quick. Exodus chapter 21, look at verse 15. He that smites his father, or strikes his father, or his mother, shall be surely put to death. Verse 17 comes along and says, and he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Whew. That's a pretty serious matter to rise up against your parents in that day. That's why I said earlier, Israel took this command seriously. You invoke capital punishment to strike your parents or to curse your parents. And it was a very, very serious matter. I would think that would certainly be a key reason to obey and honor your parents. Serious matter. The commandments regarding this were unmistakably clear. There wasn't no guessing as to what God was saying there. He said, would surely be put to death. And so there was no guesswork about it. Then, another key reason is an expression of holy living. Leviticus chapter 19. Let me flip over there right quick. Well, let me flip back there right quick. Or, it's somewhere in between here somewhere. Leviticus chapter 19. Look at the first 3 verses. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, the Lord, your God, am holy. Then verse 3, you shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. Why? Because I am the Lord your God. Each of you, he says, shall give the due respect. That's what that word fear means. Give the due respect to your mother and your father that's owed to them. By virtue of them being your mother and father, you will give them their due respect. Keep my Sabbaths holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. And so obeying and honoring your parents was a sign of holy living. Israel was told repeatedly that they should be holy because God is holy. And according to the law, true holiness begins in the home by honoring our parents, observing Sabbath, things like that. So likewise today, our relationship with God is reflected in our relationship with our parents to a large degree. Our relationship with God is reflected in our relationship with our parents. Now, again, that's speaking in general